Politicians and celebrities make deals behind closed doors, promises broken, and their income soars. Hidden agendas run the grand parade, in the circus choose a masquerade. Believe me, I wouldn't lie. I've been given money, power, and fame to keep you in line.
Welcome, everyone, to today's episode. Yesterday, I had a migraine, but I'm here today. So, today we're going to be talking about the Victim Olympics and why none of us should be competing in the Victim Olympics. So, the most important thing that you have to remember is you have to be in control of your mindset. In order to do well in this world, you have to control your mind because a bad mind is going to attract very bad things. So there is something, let's call it the loser mindset. And this is what most people you meet are going to have in varying degrees, but most people will have this. This is the most common mindset in the world. You can call it the loser mindset, the slave mind, whatever you want to call it. It is it's basically the default, to be honest. This is the default of most people on earth. So it's very simple. In order to break free from this mindset, which is unfortunately our default mode, you have to do everything different than everybody who is succumbed to this default mode has done. So you got to be very simple. If you want to be like the top 3%, I would say, maybe even less or whatever of the world, you have to break the slave mindset. So what you're not going to do is you're not going to speak like them. You're not going to think like them. You're not going to hang out where they hang out. You're not going to make excuses like they make excuses. You're not going to complain about the same things that they complain about. You're not going to be afraid of all the things that they're afraid of. You're not going to allow yourself to relate to their problems and commiserate with them. You have to create distance, right? You do not come into any form of agreement with their excuses. Never act like they act. Don't specialize for your careers in things that they specialize. You want to do something very, very rare, something unique that you can make a lot of money on. So you need to find out who are the top 3% in the world that have a really good mindset, very successful people. What did they do? And you need to do something like them, but make sure that it's not the thing that now everybody else is doing. Because a lot of times what happens is somebody finds out, oh, this person was successful doing this. Now a big slew of people are going to start doing that and degrade that field. So you need to be 10 steps ahead of the 90 whatever percentage. So the next thing is you are not going to eat how they eat. Most people on earth, they eat terrible. They eat whatever they want, whenever they want. They make excuses to have cheat meals. Everything is an excuse. Everything is because I feel bad. I need to do this bad thing to make myself feel better. You have to be in control of your mind and in control of your own behaviors. And that's how you get control of your life. So if you want to do better, you have to actually be the person that's going to do better. So we're not going to eat like them anymore. We're going to learn how to eat for ourselves so we don't make those mistakes. We don't want to look like these people. We want to look different. We want to be able to walk into the room and everybody goes, this person I can't relate to this person because they're so much in control. If you walk into a room, right? Say there's a room with like 100 people and I gave you $100 if you could find the most disciplined person in that room, you could find them, right? Because you can see discipline on somebody. You can walk into a room and go, okay, this person isn't easily swayed by a pretty girl, doesn't turn his head or whatever whenever they see someone attractive. This person keeps their weight under the control. So this person is saying no to the bad habits of the other people. You can tell a lot by someone by all the things that they say no to, because people with discipline say no the majority of the time because they do not want to be like most people. Okay. The other thing is, we're not going to relax how most people relax anymore. Most people will relax by doing bad things for them, things that do not enhance any part of their lives. And they'll say it's a treat. So, why is it a treat for most people to do something that is bad for them, right? A good habit to relax would be something like sleep. Sleep is fine, sleep is restorative, sleep regenerates you, sleep creates youth. Sleep also gets rid of cancers. It's a detox mechanism. It's all the good things. People who are like, I sleep when I'll die, you'll be dead. So don't worry about you. They're not your competition. They're not going to live very long. Sleep is important. That's a great, healthy way to relax that most people won't do. Trust me. Other things you can do is hang out with your family doing positive things. Go for a jog, go for a walk, go for a run, go for, things that very rarely you see people do. People talk about this, people do it maybe once every 10 years. But if you're the type of person who, when you want to relax, you relax doing things that are good for you are way ahead over most people. You have to understand that most people are not competition. They are just not. And most people won't do anything I'm saying. They're just going to, in one ear, out the other. Yeah, I should do that, but I'm not, right? We already know that. You can literally tell most people the best advice and they won't do it because that's how most people are. The next thing is you're not going to allow yourself to be like them. Like as a whole, you have to go, look, mediocrity or just being average or just being common or just being normal, which is never normal. These are not things that are for me. I'm going to be more than that. And a lot of times this can come off to somebody who's just going with the flow as very arrogant, maybe whatever. As long as you're not being mean to people, you don't put people down, but you also never put yourself down and you never tolerate people who put you down, right? It's one thing if we're joking around, we're friends, you know when someone's doing it because they love you and it's a joke, but they don't really mean it and they would support you. And you also know when someone is secretly trying to keep you in your place or to make sure you never get above them. So always be on the lookout for that. Don't allow yourself to be like them. Most people think the world happens to them. They're really big on it runs in my family. It's genetic. There's nothing I can do about it. The world is against me. Everything is like that. These are these people. It's always an excuse. Everything happens to them. They're just the victim. And it doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. It's all people do this. Don't be like that. You have to stop being like that. If you don't want to be like them, you must happen to the world. You cannot let the world happen to you because that's a victim. So most people are going to hear all this and they're going to immediately in their mind, because it's normal, because this is most people, right? Most people are going to go, they're going to be like the poor mentality, the slave mind programming is going to start popping up. And you're going to be like, oh, it's easy for her to say because blah, 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 fill in the blank. Oh, but I have to do XYZ first, so I can't work on that now. More garbage. Or, but she doesn't understand my personal problems because she's a woman, or she's this, or she's more this, or less that, or whatever crap you want to make up in your mind as an excuse. And I've heard this from very successful men and very successful women of all shapes and sizes and all races. Exactly. So we don't want to blame our circumstance in this life. There are plenty successful people who look like everybody else. So stop. So you know the phrases, you know the excuses, you know they're going to pop up. And we would like to refer to this as like the poor language, the language of the poor, or the slave mind, the slave class mindset. And it is programmed in you from birth on purpose because they want to keep everyone in their station in life. And if you believe that there's nothing you can do about your situation, they won. They get to keep their power over you, and you get to stay down. So we do not want to be like them. And in order to do that, you have to fight. And every day is a fight. Every moment is a fight, because the devil puts an excuse and negative thought or an evil dose of jealousy, anything to keep you from bettering yourself. So you have to fight against all of these negative things coming into your life. And nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody's going to save you. You have to save yourself. So you have to be humble and, ask God, to get rid of those voices sometimes, because sometimes we need help. Sometimes there's too many voices. We've let them have too much power for too long that it's harder to shut them off, right? So ask for help for your higher power, whatever it is, to get that help that you need, so you stop listening to these negative voices telling you it's not your fault, don't try hard, there's nothing you can do about it. When you listen to them, you come into agreement with it. And then you think it's your choice, but you are just agreeing with that. So here's like a little story time. So there was one time in my life where for some reason, doesn't matter which room I went into, everybody would just start being mean to me. It was like a really odd thing. Like I didn't even speak much back then. They would be like, oh, she's too skinny, she's low class, her shoes don't match her belt, like ridiculous things. How unfortunate, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't come from a good family, whatever. Just like weird things, a lot of negative things. And yeah, it was more women than men, but dudes would do it too, especially like very, there was like a group of dudes that would like model or whatever. So they thought they were like super rich because they got to wear fancy clothes, but they were just regular people too. And they would make fun of my shoes because they were not designer or whatever, which I didn't care about. I never cared about those things. So I just thought it was like really weird. Like, why are all of these people like attacking me when I didn't even speak yet? I didn't do anything against them. I didn't speak. I'm just in the room. Hey, how's it going? Like, it's weird. It's a weird thing. And then you have to sit and really think about it. Like, why would all these people be attacking you? You do not spend the amount of energy and time attacking someone who is truly beneath you. You don't like what? Like, I don't see like these guys with their designer clothes go and make fun of like the homeless guy on the street. I don't see that. You see them make fun of people because they're afraid of them, or because they feel jealous, envy, whatever, some negative thought, or maybe, it's not them speaking, it's that negativity monster that they've allowed inside their body that is speaking through them. And you know what I'm talking about. So if you're getting a lot of negativity whenever you share anything positive, or you just freaking breathe in a room, know that it is not because of you doing anything wrong. It is because you are starting to take responsibility for your own life and your own actions, and people hate it. The whatever is occupying their souls hates it, and it doesn't like it. So it's going to start trying to bring you down. So you have to be, yes, ready for combat all the time, because there are many things going on that we cannot see. So the devil only bothers you to bring you down when he fears you're getting too close to God, too close to walking away from victimhood, which is the place they want you at. They want you in that victim state. So we're no longer going to be blaming society, money, others, the government, women, men, on and on and on, because that's when the devil knows, as soon as you stop blaming these things, that's when he knows he's losing you. And he doesn't want to lose you, right? So since the second you've been born, he's been trying to brainwash you that this is all you can be. This is who you are, and you can't strive for more. So once you see that everything has been brainwashing up until now, and now you have the power and the choice to undo all of that and finally wake up to what you can do, which is your own power of your own choices when you control your mind and your thoughts and your actions. you can get out of this state. So be prepared, because people are going to put you down. Who do you think you are? You can't do that. Oh, well, you should have started earlier. But what school did you go to? You just went to that school? You'll never amount to anything. Or you're not smart enough. You're not young enough. You're not hot enough. You're not big enough and strong enough, and on, right? So we have to remember, you have to accept responsibility and go out there and make yourself proud, because this is your life. So bring your actions and your words and your thoughts into accordance with what you want. Now we're going to talk about vibration. Before you start going, that's woo woo, and start checking out, I'm going to show you. Here's a video. This is about synchronization. Think of this as, this is you hanging out with a bunch of friends. All of them are negative. All of them are complaining. It's the world. It's women's fault. It's men's fault. Everybody's out there. There's no good people out there. That's why I'm not happy. Blah, 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 blah. There's no good jobs out there. That's why I haven't found anything. And now suddenly you're just like them. And you start coming into agreement with all the negative things that they've said, all the nasty ideas in their heads, and now they become yours. And you feel like this is reality. But it never was, right? You can actually be the one that can sway them your way if you really get strong and you want to. And you know what? If you can't sway them, that's okay too, because you can literally walk away from people. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about, you cannot do something without first being something. So you cannot be something without being something, and you have to see yourself doing it before you can reach that. So there's a lot of people that will say things like, oh, I could never do that. That's too hard. Or I'm too, like, I don't know. Let's say you want to lose weight and you're like 100 pounds overweight, and everybody in your family is 100 pounds overweight. Everyone in your community is 100 pounds overweight. Your friends are 100 pounds overweight. Your coworkers are 100 pounds overweight. Everybody is freaking the same boat, right? So you are on your same vibrational plane, let's say, as all these people in your life. So what is the first thing you're going to do? You have to see in your mind yourself as what you want. So you're going to go, because we have really cool technology now. We can actually do this, and studies, of course, have been shown that it works. You're going to get your AI. You're going to put your head on the body that you want, right? We're going to do that. And we're going to look at that all the time, and we're going to feel what it's like to have that body. We're going to imagine ourselves walking around in that body, and we're going to imagine the people responding to us in this new body. Like, oh, wow, you look so great. You've lost so much weight. Oh my gosh, what did you do? I would love to know what you did. Oh, you should help me do that. Let's go for walks together. Let's go for runs together. Let's do this. And then some people like, oh, you think you're so much better than me because you've lost weight? These things are all going to come at you, but you have to imagine it already happening. See yourself there first. Now that you've seen it, look at it over and over. Print out the pictures. We're going to print them out, and we're going to look at them. And then we're going to do the things. What is this new you, your new body, your new self? What kind of habits do they have? They're not going out with your coworkers when they go and eat their junk food. You're not partaking now because you're not like them. And they're going to totally attack you when you don't do it. Oh, it's just once in a while. I would hate, oh, you don't let your kids eat candy. Oh my gosh. Like, I feel so sorry for them not having a childhood. Well, honey, you really think that eating sugar, which is toxic and inflammatory, is a childhood? Think about this. Don't let people talk down to you. Do not have responses ready, or at least have your mind prepared, because you're going to get a lot of backlash, right? I remember I never drank alcohol, right? I'm sorry. I'm not that type of person. I told myself when I was actually, you know what? That's my dad's brainwashing. We got to give him a shout out because he brainwashed me really well about never drinking. And he would always say, I never drink. I can hang out with people who drink. I think they're funny to look at and I laugh with them, but I'm not going to do that because they make poor decisions. And I never want to make a poor decision and have to go to someone. I made a poor decision and I ran someone over because of this, or I cheated on someone because of this, or I made a fool of myself because of this, or now I have a bad reputation because of this. I never want to be that type of person. So I just don't do it. But I'm perfectly fine watching other people and hanging out with other people do it. This is how my dad like trained me. And I never saw this man drink. He would get like a little thing of like wine for like New Year's and have a sip of it. Happy New Year, right? With his friend. He would put a little bit on the cup and put the cup in front of him. And then if anyone said, you want me to fill it up? He's like, no, thank you. I'm still working on this one. That's what I saw. So you can actually brainwash your children to be like this too, to be strong people, to be able to say no. Show them the importance of, no, I'm not that type of person. No, I don't do that. No, I don't want to do that. No, thank you. I'm good. Thank you. And people will attack you. You have no idea how much I was attacked for not wanting to drink my whole life. It's just like, oh, you don't drink. Oh, you think you're better than me. Like literally, I just said I don't drink. I didn't say I was better than you. You said that I'm better than you. So that's what you believe. And you know what? I believe it too. Right? I'm sorry. The other thing, what else did oh yeah. They used to do things like, degen stuff. Like I remember the kids, they were playing spin the bottle, right? In middle school, like spin the bottle and not have to make out with somebody in a closet. And I'd just be like, no, thanks. I don't want to play. I'll just sit and watch you guys. And they'd be like, oh, you think you're better than me? Oh, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, I don't want to play that stuff. I'm sorry. I don't play that stuff. I'll sit here and I'll let you guys play. I'm not judging you, right? I didn't sit there and go, you guys are trash for doing that. I just said, I'm not that type of person. And they judged themselves and they put that on themselves because I wasn't going on with them. I wasn't doing the things that they knew was friggin' wrong. You're not supposed to be making out with someone because a bottle spins on you. That's ridiculous. This is not something that should be done lightheartedly. It's silly. So yeah, so I didn't do that. Oh, and the other thing, like, let's go to what's it called, New Orleans, and like flash people for beads. No, honey, I'm not going to do that. But you go ahead and you have fun. You guys have fun. And yes, I didn't have many friends doing this. Yeah, because people get really upset because most people, again, going back to the beginning, most people, the grand majority, just go along to get along and they don't think of consequences. They don't plan their future. They don't plan the type of person that they're going to be and that they want to be. They don't plan their reputation. They don't have any boundaries. They don't know how to say no. They just go, well, if I just am nice and just do whatever everybody else is doing, nobody will attack me. That's not true because you can do everything everyone else is doing and you will be judged the same, right? So there's no way. There's no way to win. So you might as well come up with who you want to be, decide your morals, decide your values, decide your goals, and stick to them, right? And yes, most people will be upset when you do well in life. Most people will attack you. Most people will get mad at you. Most people will try to bring you back to any habits that they think they can get you. And I'm not saying they're all possessed by demons, but I'm also not saying that they're not. So look, think about it as you will, but we have to be in control of ourselves and our actions. So think of who you want to be, visualize your future. Also, you can curate your feed for what you want to be. I follow, which is, weird to some people. I follow like 80-plus-year-old bodybuilding women and like fit women and fit men. And I follow like fit older people who can still do things because I know I don't want to be like my dad or my husband's dad, whatever, because they're just falling apart. They stopped working out. years ago. They stopped eating well years ago, and they have slowly deteriorated, and they can't do all the things that they're supposed to be doing in the retirement. You're not just supposed to be there just breathing. You're supposed to be out there enjoying your life, and you can't do these things if you don't take care of yourself and plan for your future. Your old age is an important thing to plan for. So I visualize and I put myself in like the vibration of these people. I look at what they're doing, I see that they're happy, and I follow, and I try to picture myself like that. Because, yeah, you can't just exist. You can't just hope. You can't just hope and pray for what you want. You have to follow up with action, right? And it's visualization. And when you pray, you're not just supposed to say, give me this, give me that. No, you're supposed to say, I'm sorry for all these ways that I have fallen short and all of these poor decisions I have made. And now you go, look, I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start doing this. And then you follow through, right? And then you come into agreement with it, with your mind, your body, your visualizations, and then everything all becomes one. And it happens quicker than you think sometimes. So, and also remember, your environment is just a mirror of your future. So if you do nothing, you will become like everyone you see around you. And that's a scary thought. Okay. We're not all around supermodels in their old age, bodybuilding at like 80 years, 90 years old. We're not around these people. Most of us are around people who have, like, I don't know, 10 medications. They just gave up. Every day they need a treat to get through. Every day they need to like watch some, I don't know, just junk TV, or like get all riled up over the news and scream at it, or some sort of like toxic form of entertainment or whatever. Most people like that, and that's just how they are. And that's what you're going to end up like if you don't break away. The other thing is, it's fun. Okay. It's fun to look at people and be like, look at this person screwing up their life. Like back when I was a kid, we had Jerry Springer, right? We would go and look at these people who were like, oh, they mess up their lives. Look how disgusting and degenerate they are. And we'd laugh at them. And who's the baby's father? And ha 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 ha. And, this person slept with 500 people and she thinks she deserves a millionaire, and we just laugh at them, right? It was funny. It was funny to do. It was funny to laugh at. But back when we were watching it, laughing, saying like, oh my God, look at these people, how weird they are. The same way that you would go to the zoo and like look at, I don't know, freaking alligators eating each other or something and be like, oh, that's weird, right? Like, I wouldn't do that with my friends, but okay. Or whatever, just imagine. So somewhere along the line, because people stopped hanging out with other people stopped doing things with people, that we started to believe like the worst of us on television was the most of us. And we came into agreement with this. And we need to detach and realize that's not true. Even if most people, let's just say most people are those people on Jerry Springer now. Let's just, for sake of argument, right? Are you like those people on Jerry Springer? Are you? If you're not, you have to admit there's other people who are not like that. And you got to go find them. And where do you hang out? Probably nowhere where other people are like you, right? So you have to go and put yourself out there. You have to go and find them. And if this place isn't working, you go to the next place. And if that place isn't working, you go to the next place until you find people who are like you, who are trying to do better, be better, and who resist acting like that, right? That's not what is common, doesn't have to be normal, right? But there are always people who are good people out there, even in the craziest times to live, even in the worst societies, even when there's the most degeneracy, the most lying and cheating and hating and blah, blah, blah. Even when that is at peak, you will find people in these little pockets that are totally normal. They don't lie. They don't cheat. They don't do drugs. They don't overeat. They exercise. They get their sunlight. They love their families. They love their kids. These people exist. I mean, I have like I'll have some friends or whatever that I see like online or whatever, old classmates, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, like when everybody goes out, they talk crap about their wives and they commiserate about how terrible their wives are. You really want to be those people? Think about it. Like, why would you hang out with people like that? When I go out with my friends, we don't talk crap about our husbands. There's been girls who've been in and out of the group that did, but they're out now for a reason. We love our husbands. We talk very highly of them. We enjoy our time with them. We want more time with them. Right. And then you have the people that come in talking crap. Oh, I'm so miserable. Can you believe you did that? Let's It's like, no, you don't have to come into agreement with everything just to be nice. It's not nice to agree to something that you shouldn't be agreeing to. And when you allow people to commiserate about things like that, you're accepting it into your life, right? And I'm not saying people are not going to get hormonal and bitchy and complaining and crying, but that's when you have to use your own judgment and be like, is this person just maybe on their period? Or did something bad just happen to them? They haven't had sleep or whatever. Or is this something that you see is like repetitive, right? And then make your call and talk to them. I see you're doing a lot of this. Is this because of your period or whatever, or because your kid's sick, or is this because you're actually thinking of doing something wrong or whatever, right? Have these conversations, right? It's not a bad thing to just be open and honest with people, and then tell them, look, if you're going to be acting like there's been people that I literally had to sit down, like, look, what you did crossed the line. I don't hang out with people who act this way. I'm sorry. This is not for me. I wish you the best. I don't hate you, but I'm not going to spend my time with someone knowing that every time they get depressed, they're going to hit on my husband, or every time they get depressed, they're going to like try to, go do some degenerate stuff at some bar. I don't want to hang out with that. I'm sorry. I know you're going through something, and I really hope you figure out how to do it without destroying your life, but that's not going to be around me. And a lot of guys, they'll think it's fun. Look, it is funny. We have friends that are degenerates. We laugh at them. It's funny. But you have to know the difference between they're funny and you hope that they're going to come around, or you start agreeing with them, right? You have to maintain the distance. Oh, all the women you have are hoes. All the women every single one of them that you've dated has been, at some point, it's like, who's a common denominator, right? It's a hard thing to say. When you come with the same energy over and over and you get the same results, you can't blame other people, because because everybody's like a magnet for their own energy, right? That's why when you go on, like say, go to dating profiles and you see someone's like, I don't like cheaters and liars. That person is telling you that they attract cheaters and liars. And that means if you go out with them, even if you're a great person, maybe they're so messed up that you're going to want to cheat and lie on them. So why do that? Why even bother? Like, why would you put that out into the ether to attract it? It's silly. Instead, you want to find people who are happy. So instead of talking about all the checklists of things, don't message me unless you're this and this and this. Instead, you're going to go and find someone who's like, I like to do this. I like to hang out here. I'm open to doing this, and let's meet up and hang out, right? A chill person that's just showing a whole bunch of signs of like mental stability. Like, this is someone you're like, okay, they seem cool, right? They have smiles in some photos, so they don't look like a serial killer. And they're just not complaining. They're not blaming others, right? And bad things, I know this is hard to believe, but really, really seriously, bad things happen to everybody. Every single person, it's going to, like, if life is fair, right? Every single person is going to have to bury their parents, maybe some really close friends and family, maybe some kids for some of us, maybe some, like on and on, right? A lot of us have gone through really horrible, traumatic events, right? But not all of us respond by blaming the world for their problems, okay? And that's a hard pill to swallow. I don't care if you've been cheated on 1,000 times. That is not an excuse to say everyone is a cheater. That is everyone you attracted because you were in that mental, vibrational, negative space and you kept attracting more negativity. And then we go, oh, don't blame the victim. I'm sorry. There's no such thing as a victim. You have to come into agreement with something before it enters your life. This is not like a random crime on the street, right? You vetted this person, you invited them into your life. You saw all the red flags and all the signs, but because maybe they were hot or you were lonely or you were horny, you didn't listen to them, right? And instead of saying no more than you say yes, you said yes more than you should have said no. And then we end up here. So, Jordan Peterson always says, like his first thing that he always says is to clean your room. And I thought that was like ridiculous and silly. Why would you tell people to clean your room? That doesn't make any sense, right? But then when you realize that your environment is a mirror of your future, and when you fix your environment, that's the first step to fixing your life. So if you have a small corner in like half a room because you share it with your brother or your sister or whatever, and you fix that up nice, that is telling the world you are ready for better things. You are now the type of person that does better. Yes, and brush your teeth, for God's sakes. So many people don't do that. It's crazy. So clean your room, clean your area, clean your home. Make sure that what you look like is the type, you know why they say you have to dress a certain way for a job interview to put your best face forward, whatever? Why are you not doing that every day for yourself in your own life, right? Get up. Oh, but I work from home. Okay. Get up, fix your hair, brush your teeth, have a skincare routine. I don't care if you're a dude, you still have skin, right? You need to exfoliate a little bit. Put some nice clothes on. Don't be in your PJs all day. Bathe. This is simple stuff, guys. Simple. But I still see people who can't do it. They say it's too hard, right? So we have to be responsible for our own actions. And we have to be the type of person who gets the type of person that we want. And we have to be the type of person who gets the type of job that we want, or starts the type of company that we want, or starts the type of business that we want, all these things, right? So when you think of your ideal self, your dream self, that person starts to exist. And if you keep thinking about it, if you keep planning for it, getting yourself prepared to be it, then it's more likely to happen. Let's say, for example, so I had like 2 boyfriends before I met my husband, right? It's like, and I thought I had a really good vetting process. My vetting process was like, I have to find them attractive. I don't care if other people find them attractive, right? Because you don't want the most attractive person, because that's going to attract a lot of unnecessary competition and attention, and it's a little bit stressful. So you're just like, I just have to find them attractive. I don't care if anybody else likes them. They have to be nice to me. They have to be kind. They have to be generous. If they're very, very wealthy, but they're stingy when it comes to you, you're going to have a horrible life. Don't bother. Generous, nice. They can't be afraid that you're going to hurt them, because that means they're traumatized, and we don't want traumatized people. I'm sorry, right? You don't want to bring home a shelter dog. If they're still traumatized, I don't care how many people stole from them or robbed them, whatever. They need to deal with that and realize that you don't punish the next person for what 500 people did before you. And don't say, oh, it's just pattern recognition. No, it is your pattern, right? And if you want to stop it, because that wasn't like everybody else's pattern that I know of. So, okay. So then the other thing that I would think of was like, they have to have examples of good, solid, long-term committed marriages in their life. Like parents, they need to see that. Grandparents, they need to see that. Happy people who like each other. They have to genuinely like each other. Like if your parents don't like each other, I found out really quickly that child who sees that every day, they're not going to be able to bond the same way, because they already have a defense. They're already ready for like, this is only going to last 5-10 years and then it's over, like that type of mentality. You don't want that. You want the type of person who's like, I love my wife through all her stages and I still love her and we grew together. People who come from this type of home are mentally stable and they're able to do those things. The other thing is cheating tends to be, they say it's genetic, but it's not genetic. It's a learned behavior. A lot, actually, they did do some studies where, the kids were not in the home with the person who cheated and they ended up cheating. So maybe it's a little bit genetic, but it could also just be they knew that their parent that had cheated and they didn't. I don't know. So we don't know. But at the same time, just because something like that happens to you, you don't have to do it. There's the story of the alcoholic father, right? He has 2 sons. One of them says, of course I'm an alcoholic. Look at my father, right? I had no choice. Look at my father. The other son said, of course I've never drank alcohol. Look at my father, right? So these are the 2 mentalities. We have the victim mentality and we have the I'm not a victim. I happen to the world mentality. This is the winner. You can only be one, so you have to choose, right? So we're going to remember that everything in life is our choice. Everything that comes into our life, we came into agreement with it and we allowed it into our life. And we need to take responsibility for that. Because if you're competing in the victim Olympics, there's only losers. You and everybody else who's competing in the victim Olympics. And you guys are going to have a great time complaining about all the horrible things that happened to you. And you're never going to get anything good. Right? It's like a disgusting, it's like the snake eating its tail, right? That's what the victim Olympics is. Oh, but you don't understand. This happened to me. We've seen online what happens when victim culture gets out of hand. We've seen where it goes. We already know that it leads to absolute destruction of society, right? So maybe we need a little bit of the old Gen X ways. Just, you're fine. Get up. Your knees will heal. I don't care. Scrub yourself off and let's keep playing, because you lost this time. We're going to get it the next time. And that's it. That needs to be your life. And people who, like, let's say starting businesses, do you know it takes an average of 9 times starting a business before you succeed? 9 times. That's just starting a business. How many people do you think you need to meet and date before you find someone that's good? A lot. I mean, how many of us go to our friends and see people that we would actually like, right? Very rarely. Even in our own friend groups, we're like, maybe not. I don't know. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you cultivate a good friend group, but you should already probably be in a good relationship when you're in that situation. But maybe you have like 1 or 2 people you're like, like this person's wife and this person's husband, they seem really nice. Like I would be happy with someone like that, right? How does the other person that they're with act? Do they act like, oh, everybody's so mean to me and everybody cheats and lies and blah, blah, blah? Or do they act like, I'm so happy to meet someone good and I'm always in a great mood to be around them? That's probably more like it. Like a lot of people think it's just like picking the right person or picking the right job or picking the right field, but the majority of the time is being the right person, right? Once you get that out of the way, the rest is going to be so much easier. Like once I got out of the victim mindset, and then I know I didn't date enough or whatever, according to like most people, whatever. But once I got out of the victim mindset, oh, I get cheated on this time. Oh, I got lied on this time. I think he was gay or whatever. So once I got out of like, oh no, everybody just wait. Once I got out of that mindset and I said, you know what? I'm a great person. I deserve a great person. A great person is going to find me and it's going to be wonderful. And then I just like let it go and I just waited for it to happen. Did everything to make me live up to my new standard. And then boom, everything just happens. And then you're like, oh, other haters will say, she didn't even deserve it. She didn't even work hard. And it's like, yes, you don't have to see the work for it to be happening. Okay. Nobody has to see it. It's between you and yourself. So control your mind before you be controlled by the world. We become exactly what we think about most of the time, right? So if you're thinking about everybody doing bad things to you, or the economy is so bad, I'll never find a job, or I'm never going to get out of poverty. The economy. If you're thinking about that, you're missing out on the mindset you need to get out of the situation, right? Because you're not doing anything when you're complaining about it. Your complaining is the most you've done. So stop complaining. Every day is an opportunity. In fact, most people make the most money when the economy is bad. When most people find the best people when most people are bad, right? Because it becomes so much easier to see the opportunities because most people are not even looking for them. So start looking for them. Start being like them. Anyways, so that's all we have for today. Everybody, yes, this is good. If you can't control the small stuff, you won't handle anything else. So remember, the key to your success always lies in your own control over your own thoughts. And if you found this video valuable, if you want more out of your life and you want to come with me, hang out with me on my journey, and also the fun stuff we do on Saturdays, because it is cool to have fun too. We can't always be like achieving. Sometimes we need to have fun too. But anyways, if you want, please subscribe, join our community in the Discord server, and drop a comment if you plan on doing any of these tips. Tell me what you're going to do. And if you have any tips for anyone else, please offer them in the comments. And until next time, resist the slave mind, master your own mind, your own action, and control your thoughts. And with that, see you guys all next time, and I hope you have a great
Start the revolution, let the truth begin. Wake up, defeating lies. Control the media's got you hypnotized. Trust authority, they'll take your soul. Break the chains, find your own control. Wake up.